Mr. Grumpy Gills. When life gets you down, you know what you gotta do?
I don't want to know what you gotta do.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. What do? We swim, swim.
Dorino singing.
We all know that catchy tune that Dory sings as she is strolling in the bottom of the sea. Finding Nemo is everyone's all-time favorite due to its ability to make you cry and laugh.
Hello, I'm Octavia Claudio.
And I'm Emily Steller.
And welcome back to Thumpintheories, where we review crazy fan theories as true or false, so you don't have to. This week's podcast theme is Pixar animations. Pixar has made many of our favorite movies, and today we're going to look over 3 theories on Finding Nemo, Ratatouille, and Up. Finding Nemo is about a clownfish that is a dad named Marlin and a son that is named Nemo. Marlin is extremely overprotective of his son, who is not a good swimmer. At the beginning of the movie, we find out that it is time for Nemo to finally start fish school. Marlin does not support this idea because he wants his kid to stay home, because he doesn't think Nemo is ready. Well, Nemo ends up going out into the ocean without his dad's permission, and he gets snatched up by a scuba diver. This starts the chain reaction of Finding Nemo. Many speculate that Nemo was an imaginary device to help Marlin cope with his wife's death. This is because we see Marlin go through the 5 stages of grief throughout the film, and in the beginning of the movie, Marlin awakes from a barracuda attack. The second film that we will be taking a look at today is Ratatouille. Ratatouille is a fan favorite that features a genius rat that knows how to cook and has a passion for it. We see that the rat control a not-so-skilled worker at Augusta Gusta's restaurant by pulling the hair of the worker. The rat then goes into an old lady's house and discovers food and seasonings from the old lady. Here, he makes his famous dish called ratatouille. Many fans speculate that this dish was actually from Anton's mother. Anton Ego was a ruthless food critic who was shocked when he tried the ratatouille. Many speculate this because when Anton tries the food, he gets a flashback to his mom's cooking when he was a kid, and there are similarities to Anton's mother's house and the house where Remy learned the recipe. The last movie theory we're going to be covering today is that the old guy named Carl from Up, is actually hallucinating. Fans think this is because the house is floating is not realistic, as well as it landing exactly where he wants it.
Not only have Octavia and I watched tons of Pixar and Disney films, but we have watched Finding Nemo several times. By the end of this podcast, we hope that you too will be able to give your own opinion on the theory and come up with your own conclusions. The first theory that we are reviewing today is that Marlin is using Nemo as a coping mechanism for his wife's death, and that Nemo is not actually real. The second theory is that the ratatouille that Remy learned to make is actually inspired by Antoine's mother, and the last theory that we have is that Carl from Up is hallucinating his whole life. The first piece of evidence for our theory is that we see Marlin go through the 5 stages of grief throughout the movie. I'm sorry, is it Merlin or Marlin? It's Merlin?
I think it's Merlin.
Okay, I'm stupid. The first stage of grief is denial. We see Merlin go through this when he invents Nemo's egg after the rest of his family is killed. The second stage is anger. We see this when he freaks out that Nemo is too far away from him and is trying to go to school, or when he swims away. The third stage of grief is bargaining. This is when he convinces Dory to join his quest and go with him to look for Nemo. The fourth stage is despair. We see this when he sees Nemo flush down the toilet. The final step of grief is acceptance. This is seen when he is able to let Nemo go off on his own in the end of the movie.
Do you think that...
I like the symbolism. I think... Why are you laughing at me? Do you not agree?
No, it's good.
No, I'm not going to say, that's what they were trying to do, but I think it's cool that people are seeing it out of that. I don't think it's a reach. I think it's a good analyzation.
Yep.
Okay, are you gonna give your own input, Octavia?
No, I think that it correlates extremely well. But for the stages of grief and him inventing Nemo's egg, I don't think he's inventing it. I think he's imagining it. I don't know why they're acting like it's some device, like they said. Yep.
The next piece of evidence that we'll discuss is that at the beginning of the movie, we see Merlin wake up from a barracuda attack on his family.
At the beginning of the Nemo movie, we see Merlin wake up after a barracuda attack on his family. Merlin looks around and everyone is gone except one egg, which he ends up naming it Nemo. Many believe that Merlin made up the fact that one egg was left and he just wanted to use this to cope with the fact that his family and wife were gone. I think that's understandable. It's plausible. What do you think?
Well, I'm confused about this whole egg thing. What happened? I haven't seen Nemo in a while. What's the egg thing?
In the beginning, when Merlin wakes up, it's from, like, a barracuda attack.
Okay.
And so, like, his wife and the other eggs are gone, but one egg survived.
Oh.
Yeah. So they're thinking that none survived, and he was just imagining that one did survive.
Oh.
Why has no one...
Why
has no one thought that maybe he's in a coma?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. Like, he was just attacked by a barracuda. Barracuda.
What?
But... yeah, why is no one thought
Don't mind that Octavia just breaks out in a song and then loses her train of thought.
I don't know, maybe he's in a coma. Like, they never thought about that, but I definitely think that he might have imagined that egg. But it never mentions a wife, but obviously if there's babies, there's gotta be a wife.
Are you saying you have to be married to have children? Octavia, that's such a hot take.
Oh yeah, she liked it, so she put a ring on the fin.
That was so cringy. I had secondhand embarrassment from that. Don't say that again. Don't wear that outfit again.
You repeated outfits, Emily.
You're an outfit rememberer.
Oh my god, no, don't.
Anyways, sorry guys. But I just don't really agree with this.
I like it. And I also think he's in a coma.
Do you also think that he happens to be part of the Mexican drug cartel?
Yeah. Emily.
What?
That was forever ago. How do you still remember that?
It was last episode.
Yeah, but...
They'll remember. If you guys are true fans, you'll remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so... The second theory that... So, wait. Do we think that this is Thumpintheories verified?
No. I don't.
I do.
Oh, we have a disagreement.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay to disagree. We don't have to have one answer.
It's 50-50, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so the second theory that we're going to review is that Ratatouille is inspired by Antoine's mom. The first piece of evidence that we have is when Antoine tasted Ratatouille, he got a flashback to his mom's cooking. So, a scene in the Ratatouille movie shows Antoine tasting Remy's Ratatouille. The flavors transported him directly into a childhood memory of his mom's cooking. Thanks to this, Remy earns Antoine's respect, and I don't even know if I'm saying his name right.
I feel like it's Antoine or Antone or something.
Antone? We're gonna say Antone.
I want to say Antoine.
Antoine?
I think it would be
Okay.
Antoine.
Antoine stops being a snob about the food. So, some fans have theorized that Remy's cooking being similar to Antoine's mother isn't a coincidence. This information is from CBR.com. When I first watched this movie, I thought that it was a little suspicious that the whole idea is that Remy made up this recipe of Ratatouille. But if it's giving him flashbacks to his own mom cooking, then obviously that came from somewhere.
Maybe it was just something similar.
Well, he was eating Ratatouille.
Yeah, so maybe he thought of his mom while eating it because it just tasted like something similar.
I don't know. Okay.
I don't know. I'm not a Ratatouille stan like you, so I don't know.
Are you saying you're against
I'm not against it. I've never even seen it. Guys, I've never seen Ratatouille.
That's not very good, Emily.
I know.
Okay. The next piece of evidence that we have states that the old lady's house and Antoine's mom's house look extremely similar. So, as many see in the movie, Antoine shows part of his mom's house and Remy shows part of the old lady's house. And I can insert pictures, but I think they look nothing alike. The only thing that this thing thinks that they are similar by is because, one, they both have a freaking kettle on their stove. It's a freaking kettle.
What a unique experience.
Yeah. And then they have the same little jars in the corner of their thing, which, I don't know, they're just little, you can go get them from freaking Macy's, I don't know. They're jars. And then the other thing is that...
Go get y'all's homework from Macy's.
The other thing is that they circled the freaking knobs on the stove, but girl, hers looks updated. The grandma's looks rusty.
Okay.
I don't understand how that is correlating. I don't see the similarity, okay? Just doesn't make sense to me. But the other things that they are circling in the other picture is it shows the grandma in front of the front door, and then it shows Antoine in front of the front door. And this one, they completely contradicted themselves on this one. If you look at the pictures, the doors open the opposite directions. It can't even be that door. What?
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, I personally just don't think that Ratatouille is from Antoine's mom.
Okay.
So, now that we have discussed our second theory, let's conclude. Do we think this is some theories verified?
I'm gonna say no based on the facts. But I've never seen the movie, so I don't really know.
Okay. This is not some theories verified.
Okay. For our next theory, we'll be talking about how Carl from Up is actually potentially hallucinating. ScreenRant.com states, "We all know that Carl from Up took a fantastical adventure by using balloons to float his house to a waterfall where he and his wife always wanted to go. Did this trip actually happen, though? Some Pixar fans don't think so. They believe that Carl is delusional, and the story that we see played out never actually happened. You have to admit, it does seem a little far-fetched that he would be able to lift his house with a little over 20,000 balloons. Pixar has given the official number as 20,622. Then the house just so happens to float and land exactly where he wants it to go. And lastly, he meets his lifelong hero, who coincidentally is nearby. Does it seem too good to be true? It might just have been Carl's imagination."
I don't think the whole thing is real.
I have to disagree.
Do you think it's real?
Yeah, I kind of...
What?
I think that potentially...
No.
Maybe...
I just think it doesn't have to be hallucination. It's just imagination. It's an analogy of some sort, but...
I'm not saying he's hallucinating it, but I think, like...
I just think there's a deeper meaning.
I don't think the events actually happened. I think he is, like, imagining them, but I'm not saying that's hallucination.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because, like, you're not gonna float a house with that many balloons with a little Brussels sprout looking kid on your porch and then go land at a waterfall that you just happen to spawn at, girl, and then meet your idol. It doesn't add up.
Mm-mm.
And then also there's a theory that says, like, this represents him going to heaven, which I don't agree with that one either.
Well, I just don't... Why does he have to be dead? Who's saying that he died?
I know. Like, girl, no one said that he had to die too. Like, he can live. They need to stop making it like that.
Because the whole point is that his wife died and now he's alone. So who's saying that he's dead?
Yeah.
So I don't know if I really agree with that.
I don't know, it's just... it could be, there's just so many possibilities that it could be. It could be him telling his grandson a story. It could be the kids telling a story from his perspective. It could be literally anything. Or it could be the Carl describing a dream that he had. It's just not real.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well,
so, now that we have covered the last theory, let's conclude. Do we think that this is Thumpintheories verified?
no.
No?
Or, I meant, yeah, sorry,
Yes.
I forgot what we were talking about for a minute.
So, this is Thumpintheories verified.
Partially, at least.
Yeah, because I don't think he's hallucinating, but I think it is not
It's
real.
metaphorical in some way.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't think that the events actually happened. I don't think that it's supposed to be literal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
think it's
I
metaphorical.
agree.
We had a special guest give us her opinion today, and that was Chloe Bisher. And she told us that she disagrees, or not disagrees, that she does not think that Nemo was real in Finding Nemo. So I guess she kind of agrees with the theory that Merlin made up Nemo as kind of a coping mechanism.
Yeah, I agree with this because, well, one, like, I feel like it's easy to convince Dory that Nemo's real.
Because she can't remember anything?
Yeah. So, him, like, what they said, the stages of grief, one is, like, rationalizing. So, him, like, rationalizing to Dory, be like, oh, like, come help me find...
Do you mean beckoning?
I don't know.
I think you mean beckoning.
Okay. Well, him being like, oh, like, come help me find my kid. And Dory doesn't even know anything about this because girl has memory loss. So, and the idea that the teacher just let Nemo swim out into the sea, why would he do that? I don't think that was intentional.
I don't know. I don't agree with the whole Nemo thing. I can't remember if I said I did earlier, but if I did, I changed my mind. I just don't. I think this one's a little bit too deep. I think Nemo is real.
You just said that you were loving all of the connections. You just thought that it was
but
good.
I've also said that some are too deep. Like, I don't think Dora's in the drug cartel. And what was the other one that was just stupid?
That she's hallucinating?
Oh, yeah, it was also Dora. Like, I just don't... I think that Nemo's real.
You think he's real?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think he's real.
I think Nemo's real.
I think it just makes logical sense if it's, like, a whole grief thing. And what was our second theory? Ratatouille. Oh, you haven't seen Ratatouille. But that one's definitely fake. 100%.
You're not into it?
No. And,
well, are we ready to conclude?
I mean, if you want.
Okay. After listening to our podcast today, we hope that you can come up with your own conclusions on our theories and share more of your own that may come to your mind. The first theory that we reviewed today is that Merlin is using Nemo as a coping mechanism for his wife's death, and that Nemo is not actually real. The second theory was that about Ratatouille, in which Remy learned to make... Is that the Ratatouille that Remy learned to make is actually inspired by Antoine's mother. And the last theory that we have is that Carl from Up was hallucinating basically his whole life after his wife's death. With this being said, we hope that the next time you watch Up or Nemo or Ratatouille, you just think about what the writers were thinking and what the intentions of the films were and their metaphorical and literal
Meanings.
views and perspectives.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to
Thumpintheories.